Everything in this universe of ours is moving. Nothing is fixed. Nothing is stationary. Everything will have to move. And why everything will have to move? Because whatever we see or whatever we think or whatever comes within the scope of our inferences are moving within the cosmic mind or moving within the mind of Paramapurusha. He thinks and we perceive. All inferences are emanated from the cosmic mind, from the mind of the Supreme Father. You are dancing, you will be dancing, but these dances, you are dancing within the mind of your Supreme Father, you are dancing within the mind of Paramapurusha. And you are dancing in his mind. Your dances are creating a special type of vibration within his mind. It gives him pleasure. You are doing good work. Your good work creates a special type of vibration in his mind. It gives him pleasure. Whatever good thing you do, it gives him pleasure. Whatever good thoughts you encourage or you relish, gives him pleasure. That is, whatever good you do to please him, to satisfy him. And if by your action he is satisfied, that satisfaction of him satisfies you also. Now here everything, nobody can remain stationary. Even that whole square is also not stationary. Our sun is not stationary. He moves in the cosmos along with its planetary world. There are so many stars, so many suns, stars like sun, so many nebula. They are all moving. Immobile, nobody is fixed. Your body moves, your sentiments, your instincts connected with your body moves. Your mind moves, everything moves. This movement of yours is different from the movement of other animals, other created beings, because the speciality of human beings is that they get pleasure in subtler movements. And this subtle movement or subtler movement are special wounds of human beings. You get less pleasure from a crude object than that of a subtle object. You get more pleasure in subtle object. Crude dance cannot give you much pleasure as classical dance can, because human movement, human tendencies towards subtle and subtler and to the subtlest. Each and every living being is guided by certain instincts. Plants have got instinct, animals also have got instinct. But human instincts are less in number than human psychic propensities. That is, in case of humans, propensities are stronger than instincts. And here lies the fundamental difference between an animal and a man. In quest of subtler objects, man failed. Man realized that the subtlest of this universe, from which all waves all expressions emanate. He is my supreme Lord. And that supreme Lord, that subtlest object, that perennial source of all inferences is my Lord, is my Paramapurusha, is my supreme Father. So spiritual aspirant must always remember that his goal is not something physical or not something psychic. His only goal is the hub of this universe, is the nucleus of this cosmological order, is that Paramapurusha, the Supreme Father. All human aspirations culminate to that very point. All human desires and longings coincide there to that particular desideratum. You boys and you girls, you are all spiritual aspirants. You are all developed human beings. You should remember this cardinal truth. And it's true. Humans come to the earth for a very short span. And within this short span, they have to do so many duties. When the span is short, not a moment should be wasted, and it is desirable they should know their goal and the path from the very beginning of their life. One must not wait for old age. That is the correct path a man should know, and the correct destination or desideratum a man should know from the early stage of the life. But what is the goal and what is the path? And that is the question. So many books, so many scriptures say so many things, do this, do that. What to do? A common man fails to understand what to do and what not to do. There are so many social codes, what to do and what not to do. There are so many do's and so many don'ts. The spiritual aspirants fail to know what to do. The great men who reached the goal say that don't be misguided by so many books and so many theories and so many dogmas. Be guided by the established yogis. Who is a yogi? What is yoga? There are so many definitions by so many scholars. But the accepted principle regarding yoga is Sangyuga Yoga Ityukto Jivatma Paramatmana. Some people say that yoga means yoga citta vritti nirodha, and who has been established in this practice is a yogi. What is yoga citta vritti nirodha? It means nirodha means suspension. That is, citta vritti nirodha means suspension of all psychic propensities. You know, if all psychic propensities are suspended, mind becomes actionless. But actionlessness of mind doesn't mean that you have achieved the goal, because when a man is in senseless condition, in that case also mind remains actionless. So this definition of yoga cannot be accepted. Another definition of yoga is sarvachinta parityago nischinto yagamuchyate. When there is thoughtlessness, that stage is yoga. That when mind becomes free from all thoughts. You know, when mind becomes free from all thoughts, it is also a stage of vacuum. It cannot be yoga, because the word yoga means unification. And thoughtlessness is a negative stage. Chitta vritti nirodha, that is suspension of propensities, is also a negative stage. The correct interpretation is yoga means unification. Unification by whom? With whom? Sanyoga yoga ityukto jivatma paramatma. Unification of unit self with the cosmic self is yoga. When your little I becomes one with your great I, that stage is the stage of yoga, and the man and the spiritual aspirant who has attained that stage is a yogi. Now you have to follow the path of yogi. And where doth lie the desideratum, the goal of life? It is hidden within your I feeling. It lies coverted within your I feeling. What is I feeling? Everybody has got a sense of I. I am doing. I am Mr. Henry. I am such and such. I belong to Iceland. I am Josephine. I am the owner of this house. I will go to airport to receive Baba. So will I, crowd of eyes. What is I? When you come in contact with something external, in the first phase, your I is the subject, this I, not pronoun I. Your I is the subject, and that object which you see is the object. So in the first phase, your eyes are what? I. Then what does happen? These eyes, they are mere gates of your sense of vision. So, and the optical nerve is the medium. A particular point in the brain is the subject, and these external eyes are the objects. So in the second phase, a particular portion of your brain is your eye, and these physical eyes are object. Then in the third phase, your doer I am doing, I am seeing, I am eating, that I is your I, and that particular portion of the brain is the object I. That object I cannot see without your support. Suppose you are moving along the road and thinking something, that is your doer I is engaged in some other business. In that case, even if an elephant comes in front of you, you won't see it because you are engaged in thought. So that eye is the eye, the inner eye, with whose permission that portion of brain sees the external object with the help of your eyes, gates of vision. And finally, the feeling that I exist, I am is I. But that I is also not the supreme I. I exist is not the supreme. Behind that I exist feeling there is another I. I know that I exist. This I of I know is the actual I. Everybody knows that he exists. That knowing entity is the I, and the existing entity is the second phase of I, not the final I. And there is the universal supreme I, who knows that you know that you exist, who knows that you know that you exist. That I is the supreme I. That I is the supreme consciousness. That I is the Parama Purusha. And for that I, common men use the term God. That is, nothing can be done secretly. That I sees everything. And if you always remain conscious of the fact that that supreme I is seeing whatever you are doing, not only doing whatever you are thinking, you won't be depraved, you won't get degenerated in your life. And that I is the desideratum. That I is the final terminus of all your marches through different ways of propensities. So suspension of mind or making the mind free from all thoughts are not the last words of yoga. The last word is moving your individual supreme I towards the universal supreme I and unifying your individual supreme I with the universal supreme I, and that is the final word of yoga. Now, regarding the goal, regarding the desideratum, it is the final word. But what should be the path? What should be the mode of approach? How to do? How to come in his close contact? How to be one with him? How to be unified with him? Some people say that go on doing good work, you will be coming in his contact, you will be one with him. Let us see what is work. That is, follow the path of actional faculty and you will be one with him. What is action? What is actional faculty? Action means change of place. The ball star is here, it is here. There has been change of place. So, I have done some action. The action means change of place. Now in physical stratum, we are always engaged in actional faculties, in change of place. We are moving, we are loving, we are eating, we are laughing. We do so many things, all our actions. But by dint upon actional faculty, how can one come in its contact? And there is another thing, action may lead you towards the goal, towards the universal self, and action may drift you away from the universal self. There may be bad actions. So, by dint of actional faculty, one may or may not reach the destination. So, in case of actional faculty, one may or one may not reach the goal. Some people say, by dint of alms, knowledge, spiritual knowledge, one will attain salvation, one will reach the goal. Now let us see what is knowledge. The word knowledge is a very old word, about 15,000 years old word is jnanam, Sanskrit word, old Sanskrit word, about 15,000 years old, jnanam. From jnanam, it became jnano in old Latin. From jnano, it has become no in modern English. Although K is silent, mute, still the K is there because the root word is Keno, K-E-N-O, K-E-N-O-W. What is jnana? What is knowledge? Knowledge is subjectivization of external objectivity. You are in front of an elephant. When you subjectivize that elephant through extra-internal projection, that is when that elephant becomes an internal object by extra-internal projection, and you have then you have subjectivized that elephant. So we will say you have known the elephant. This process of subjectivization may be extra-internal and may be pure internal. When it is pure internal, then it is proper spiritual knowledge. But this phase of pure internal is the second phase. First phase is extra-internal. In this sphere of knowledge, there can be degradation, because in the first phase, when it is extra-internal, that external object may or may not be good. It may lead you towards crude world of crude enjoyment, and in that case there will be degradation. You will go below the standard of humanity. So in case of knowledge or faculty of subjectivization, the result may or may not be in your favor. The result may or may not be of spiritual order. Now there remains the third course. It is the course of devotion. What is devotion? Devotion is withdrawing all your propensities from all external objects and also from all psychic objects or psychic pebula, and hold that collective propensity unto the supreme universal I. O Supreme Entity, O Paramapurusha, I love nothing, I love you. And why do I love you? In the first phase, the spiritual aspirant, the spiritual devotee will say, O Lord, I love you. Why? Because by loving you, I get pleasures. And for nothing else. I want nothing from you. I want nothing from you. I want you. I don't want anything from you. Because if I want something else from you, that something will be something external, something of objective world, and everything of objective world is finite, And that finite object or those finite objects cannot give me pleasure of permanent nature. But O Supreme Entity, O Parama Purusha, you are infinite. You are of infinite attributions and qualifications. So if I get you, I'll get infinite pleasure from you. That's why you are my goal and not the objects that I expect or expected from you in the past. It is the first phase of devotion. But in the final phase of devotion, no. I love you not because I get pleasure by loving you. I love you because I want that you should get pleasure by my love. That is, my love is just to give you pleasure, not to give me pleasures. In order to give you pleasure, I love you. I want nothing. And I don't want you. I want that I should be yours. I don't want you. I want that I should be yours. This is the final phase of devotion, and this is the final word of bhakti or devotion. So the path of spirituality is very simple. It is not at all complicated. Your goal is the Supreme I, the Supreme Universal I, the Supreme Creator. I said just now, for whom in ordinary language we use the word God, the Supreme Entity, the Supreme Generator, Operator and Destroyer. For generation you use He, for operator you use O, and for destruction, destroyer you use D, G-O-D. He is the goal, and nothing else in this universe can be your goal or desideratum. In devotion, there is no scope of being puffed up with vanity. Because in devotion, finally you want to surrender yourself. Finally you want that, oh Lord, I love you just to give you pleasure, and oh Lord, I don't want you. You just take me as yours. One must follow the path of yogi, and one must accept that universal entity as one supreme goal. There is no other alternative. As the universal I is the supreme creator, supreme generator, so everything in this universe is his progeny and he is the progenitor. He is the supreme father. You have got family relation with that supreme entity and not a relationship of external formality. He is yours, and you should also remember that nothing is external for him. Everything is within, nothing is without. So you have been created by him, and you are in him, and finally, because he is your supreme goal, so finally you will be with him, you will be one with him. For this you require no special education, no knowledge in philosophy, and no other external attributions. Supreme love or the supreme universal entity will make you one with him.